You may notice some honeybees flying around on our sunflowers here. And of course, honeybees come from all over the place. But some of these honeybees are now resident to our farm. There's a beekeeper, an apiarist, a beak, who's keeping bees on our property. And we're not doing much with them. They're all his bees. He's given us some honey for access to the land, and his honey is fantastic. And now we're gonna have local honey from our own homestead. So really nice little partnership to be able to tell a beekeeper, yep, come on, use our property, put your bees out here. He's got them behind some electric fencing. We get the benefits of having the pollinators and having very local farm fresh honey, which is awesome. And he gets the benefit of having access to the property, a lot of clover here, a lot of knotweed, which actually makes a pretty nice honey. So a lot of good plants for the bees. And it works, it's a mutual beneficial arrangement for all of us. Those are your new chickens. Alright, let's introduce your new chicken.
This is Cinnamon Bun. It's one of my favorite chickens, a baby girl. We incubated it, and it's my sister's chicken.
Can you show the perch?
The cinnamon. Their cinnamon stick.
Oh, is that mama? Look at that, mama and baby.
Yeah.
Cinnamon stick and cinnamon bun.
This is the thing I used to do with the blueberries, and now this one's nice enough to do it.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Parrot. Just gotta teach it to talk. I remember I used to do that trick with the blueberries. And look, but now they get too old and they get too not too old for child things. Too old for baby to drink parrot things. When we had the meat birds up in the chicken tractors, up in the field, I had my incubator egg layers up there too. But when we butchered all the meat birds, so we decided to move them down. We moved them down when it was nice and dark. We just put them on the roofs. We left the lights off so that it wouldn't cause a lot of trouble, so that they could go in without any fighting. And so far that's worked pretty good. I gave my little siblings all a chicken.
It's probably from mine.
So they're enjoying naming them.
Hey!
Is that your chicken?
Yeah.
What's that? What's that chicken's name?
Cool.
Cool.
This one's old enough so I can throw it away.
Okay, I want to show you a fascinating thing that we learned. One of the cool things about working with a feed mill, a feed maker that's willing to experiment with you and try new things and test stuff out is you get to learn a lot. Some good and some bad. These two chickens that you see are both Cornish crosses. Size-wise, this one is a bit bigger and a bit more fully feathered than this one. But when you look at them, they're not that different in size. Oh, they're not that different in weight. I'm gonna put them down because they're annoying to hold like that. This one here, you're probably guessing by the size of that Cornish cross, maybe that's like a 6-week-old Cornish cross, 2 weeks from being 8 weeks old and being done. It's like a 14-week-old Cornish cross. This chicken should be like 8 pounds by now. Why did our Cornish crosses not grow big and fat like Cornish crosses normally do? Well, it has to do with a feed experiment we tried this year that really was a failure. When I talked with Jordan of Nature's Way Feeds about providing us a chicken feed, I asked her specifically to make one at the time that was corn-free, gluten-free, and soy-free. And the reason why was at the time we were worried about what our baby boy was eating as far as meat goes and what our meat was eating that might get transferred to him. He has really bad allergies. Most of you know this by now. And so we were experimenting with a chicken feed that had no corn, soy, or gluten, wheat. Corn, soy, and wheat are big, easily digested protein sources for meat birds. And we were hoping, with the help of Nature's Way Feeds, to be able to bypass that with other protein sources. Jordan at Nature's Way Feeds makes a all vegetable based, corn-free, soy-free, or wheat-free feed that gets really high protein levels and helps animals grow great. But she always has used one of those proteins. So if you have a corn intolerance and you want to feed with no corn, she can use wheat instead of corn. If you have a problem with soy, she can work around soy and give you a corn and wheat combo. If you have a gluten intolerance, she can give you a corn based chicken feed. Jordan had never made a feed before for chickens that didn't have at least wheat or corn, but she was willing to try it for us because we had this issue in our family. We were trying to avoid all those. It was an experiment. I asked her to make me one without any of them, corn, soy, or gluten. And the result, well, it wasn't great. We did have a batch of birds that we butchered, but there were a lot of very small birds. It took them a long time to get to the finished weight. So lesson learned. We tried it out. We tried to see if we could do a corn-free, soy-free, and gluten-free feed. It wasn't very successful. So what we have learned is when doing alternate feeds for chickens, we are going to experiment with another recipe. Jordan's still trying to come up with something that'll work really good, and we'll keep trying it, and we'll keep reporting back to you. One of the coolest things about this partnership is we get to experiment and share the results with you without you risking it on your own birds, testing it out. Basically, what we've learned for now is if you want alternate feeds to the big box store feeds, if you're trying to avoid soy in your diet, well, you can use wheat. If you're trying to avoid gluten or wheat, well, you can use corn. But you're gonna need one of those to get a Cornish cross to be a big fat bird. So great little fact that we've learned. We learned it on our birds. There are a lot of underweight birds. We still got a lot of great chicken in the freezer. Some of them did better than others. Our roosters in particular were able to get enough and still grow a good size. But we have about 5 hens from the last batch that we didn't even butcher yet because they're just too small. They look like pigeons. This next batch, Jordan sent us a feed with corn in it. So we've learned with our son that if he eats meat that's eating corn, well, I don't know. We're experimenting still with him too. We're trying to learn more about our son's diet, our kids' allergies. So we'll keep trying new things, and of course we'll keep reporting back. But right now we are experimenting with a batch of birds that are being fed no soy and no gluten, but they are getting corn. And it's an organic, GMO-free corn, so it's not a nasty corn with pesticides and, you know, all that other stuff. So just thought I'd share that really cool lesson we learned. And I wanted to thank Jordan from Nature's Way Feeds for working with us, experimenting with us. She's been fantastic and just been great. I can't recommend her enough. If you're looking for an alternative kind of feed, something special, there's a coupon. If you use coupon code OST20 at checkout, you get a discount for Nature's Way Feeds. I'll have a link below to Nature's Way Feeds if you want to check them out. Jordan's been great, and she makes feeds for all kinds of animals, and if you have allergies or certain things you're avoiding, she can make it. She can find you a solution as long as you're willing to take corn, soy, or gluten when it comes to chickens. Other animals, that's not an issue, but with the chickens it was.
hide when they eat now because it's good for them to learn manners, especially Mr. Solomon, who's starting to get into his teenage phase. He's getting a little attitude. I don't want to have to fight with him. I want him to know that I'm in control of when he's eating. And camel trainers recommend just tying. Tying them teaches them patience. Anytime we're back here at the barn now working, we tie them up so we can keep an eye on them in case anything happens. And so they learn patience. People will do this with cow calves as well, to just learn to be halter trained. This will help Solomon become a better camel in the long run. Ooh, generous. Rabbits were another one of our... It was a rabbit experiment for us this year. Something we'd always wanted to try, but having the baby need a special diet gave us that extra push. Rabbit's very low on the list of foods that are allergenic, so it's a good one to start with if you're having issues. Rabbits did good for us. We didn't have any issues with them giving birth. Pretty much every 4 weeks we had another litter of rabbits. We definitely, they're great for a homestead if you really need a fast meat source. Rabbits were a good one. We are not going to continue doing rabbits. That's one of the things that this fall we're going to get rid of. So we're not carrying rabbits over into the winter. Reasons for doing this are they're high on feed consumption. We go through a lot of feed with the rabbits, especially if we keep them inside and they're not on grass. If we could get them outside like we did last month to feed out the growers, they do great on just grass. Over the winter though, when we're not going to have grass, we do not want to have the expense of feeding them. Another reason is between rabbit and chicken, what we want to eat, chicken wins. I know Austin mentioned this in a previous video, and we got some recipe ideas of how to cook rabbit. Rabbit's delicious with sour cream, with bacon. I can't do any of that. I can have salt. So if anybody has any recipes cooking rabbit that just feature salt, I'm totally open for those suggestions. We did saltwater brine them. So I saltwater brine them, soak them in that, cook them in an Instapot. The meat gets pretty tender and juicy. There is a lot, they're slower growing than the Cornish cross, so there's less meat on them. And the family just prefers the taste of chicken over the rabbit. Me. Now with our freezer full of rabbit and full of chicken, we're going...
And fish.
And fish. And beef, and soon to be lamb and pork. We have to, so as far as what we want to carry over in the winter, have feed for, have space for, rabbits are out.
I'm fixing up this hoop house. Every time we make a hoop house with a tarp for the animals, the tarps just get, over time, they get dried out and whipped around by the wind and holes, and eventually they don't really help with shelter at all. We're actually going to be moving the camels outside of the barn for the fall. They like being inside in the summer heat. It's funny, everyone thinks camels love the heat. They don't, not these ones from Michigan. So we're going to move them outside into this paddock. I built them a new hay feeder so they have a nice, clean place to put a bale of hay. I'm going to redo this hoop so that they got a nice, good hoop to keep them dry out of the rain. And they'll love it. They like being out on this gravel. They'll be happy here. I have a couple of Homesteady updates I wanted to share with you. The first, if you were thinking about joining the Pioneer program, today is the last day for our summer sale. You get 4 months for free As a Pioneer, you get our extended interviews, the whole library, commercial free. Some of my audience has been telling me recently, YouTube's been hammering the commercials. You get like 3 or 4 commercials watching our videos. I'm actually thinking about putting all of our videos in the Pioneer program so Pioneers could watch them all commercial free. So if you're a Pioneer, let me know if you're interested in that. If you want to become a Pioneer, you get that. Also, every Saturday we're getting together now for a community Pioneer hangout online. We talk about a topic, we share ideas. Last week we helped a Pioneer out who was getting a lot of raccoons into her garden. We brainstormed together as a community and came up with 3 different solutions for keeping raccoons out. So just a nice community to have, troll-free, focused on growing your own food, growing your homestead. Anyway, you can get 4 months for free. If you click right there, it'll take you to sign up for our year-long membership, which is on sale right now. 4 months for free. Best sale we do all summer. We do this once a summer every year. So don't miss. Today is the last day. Second, I've launched my new podcast, which I've been talking a lot about. Now, it's only launched to the Pioneers right now, but don't worry, everybody's going to get it. The Pioneers were my test pilots. I am so thrilled with the reviews. I asked the Pioneers to tell me honestly, like, what could I do to make this better? What do you think? And so far it's been getting a lot of rave reviews. A couple little problems with the launch. I had a hiccup in the episodes and the way they came out. Pioneers helped me work that out. That's why I launched it to them first. Very soon it will be coming out to everybody who is in the Homesteady audience, but only if you're on our email list, because that's the way I'm going to release this podcast. So don't forget, click there, sign up to the email list, and that way you'll get the new podcast. The new podcast is all about helping you to build a better homesteady life, kind of telling our story, how we did it, and sharing with you advice and steps and tips how you can get there too. A lot of Pioneers are just eating it up. They're really enjoying it, so I'm excited about the new show. Can't wait to release it to all of you. It will be very soon. I just got to make sure everything is working correctly.
Everything, huh?
Whoa. Your tree stand, baby? Ready to go up in the tree stand?
And for those who've been asking how the baby is doing, we've been at this now, kind of figuring out his intolerances. It'll be a year in October.
Wow.
Yeah. Lots of ups and downs. Finally, over the past month, I think we've had the best, most consistent ups that we have had this entire year. He's had growth, he's had more foods that he's been able to tolerate. It's been really good. And we've done a lot. I mean, you saw us buy camels, rabbits, sheep, pigs, hatch chicks. We've done a ton of work.
Corn-free, gluten-free, soy-free feeds, and I mean, this year's been a year of complete changes for us.
Yeah.
All in a mission of trying to feed our family, but mostly our baby, who's the most sensitive one.
You've seen us lose weight.
Yeah, following his diet. I mean, it's been a journey, and we're getting better. Things are getting better.
We're getting clarity.
Yeah.
We've, over this past year, we've had lots of professionals involved trying to help us. Some have been absolutely no help. Some have been an enormous amount of help, and that's who we're working with right now. If you're having issues with your baby, with your infant, with food intolerances, trying to figure out what they can eat, check out Dr. Trinity Pollen at freetofeed.com.
I have a link below. Not sponsored, just
No,
good.
she's just been fantastic working with us. She offers classes. She also offers one-on-one consultation, and the price is super reasonable.
Yeah.
And she has been a huge help to us. I like that she takes a lot of the guesswork out. We always like to see some studies, you know, just to try to get as kind of a realistic as possible handle on what's going on, because when you're doing this, you look online and you'll find a million different suggestions on what to take out, whether it's histamines, salicylates, food chemicals, oxalates. Honestly, by the time you take out everything that they could be reacting to, you're not eating anything. And if you've gone through this, you realize you get kind of this post-traumatic stress on, I ate this and my baby was screaming. You're afraid to eat anything. And Dr. Pollan has really helped us take out only the necessary, and we've seen immense improvements in him. So check her out if you need some help.
Yeah, and we're still, this journey continues with our baby, with his diet, with our diet. With our farm, it's constantly adapting.
Oh yeah.
Our homestead has so much changed centered around this issue for us. And everybody's homestead, some people, the reason they start homesteading is to save money, right? Like, we're not saving any money right now. Our center focus right now is to have food that our family can thrive on.
Food control.
Yeah. Well, more than just control. Food, I mean, we've had food control, but like food he can have that he will grow on. And so much of the decisions we're making right now might not make sense to some of you. Like maybe you're thinking like, come on, rabbits, you're gonna save a ton of money. We're not in it right now to save money. Right now our one mission on this homestead is feed our family food that they will thrive on. And, you know, rabbit isn't really helping anything.
Right.
Right now, the meat that you're eating the most is lamb.
Yeah.
So get ready, because...
So we need to, we kind of switch focus from rabbit to lamb.
And lamb, so what we're gonna do with the lambs, we're gonna butcher the 3 we have, put them in the freezer over the winter. Next year, we're gonna be buying more lambs. More lambs. I got big plans for grass-fed lamb here at this homestead. And as long as by next spring you're still
eating lamb
and it's working for the baby, that will happen. If things change and realize, oh no, we shouldn't have lamb. It changes every month. We make a video and then a week later it's like, oh no, we shouldn't be eating that. So it's been quite a year.
Yeah, I just think about even where we were 10 years ago on our homestead journey.
Why? Yeah.
How much that's changed.
Oh,
I mean,
goodness,
then we were in it to farm. We were in it to be a profitable farm business.
Yeah.
So we were pigs on a commercial growing feed, and Cornish cross and the same thing, commercial feed.
Yeah. And that was our focus of our homestead at that time, was save money, make money. And it's changed so much, and along with it, now you don't see a bunch of pink pigs. Still doing the Cornish crosses, but you know.
But growing them out a little slower.
On a different feed. Hopefully not super slow. Hopefully like we can get it. Normal chicken grower feed Jordan does, they take about 12 weeks to get full size.
Instead of 8.
Not 12 weeks to get to the size of a pigeon. So we learned our lesson. We're trying new things. We're always willing to try something. Part of why Homesteady is fun to have this channel is because we get to try things. And you know, it might feel like a waste to have raised chickens that took, you know, 24 months to get to full size. But if we can share the knowledge on the channel, it's not a waste.
24 months is a slight exaggeration. That's 2 years.
Feels like it. Oh man.
It's September.
We're pretty good, I think.
September. It's time to kind of sit back and look at everything we've done since February. Really ramped up farm production. Now we can sit back. Time to butcher.
We went fishing. That was fun.
And yeah, downsize. Coming into winter. Time to downsize.
Good. That's a good spot.